Hello, Happy New Year. Today, in my part of the world, it is the 1st of January of 2025. So, can you see the message on the board behind me today? It's New Year. Now express with your evolved, ascended reality. So, I thought that was fun when I received it. So, I will pray that wherever you are in the now moment, it's new for you, whether it's the start of a new year, a new day, or a new moment. So be it. Um, so I wanted to share with you a little bit about my use of what I call key words. They can be called other things, especially people often at the beginning of a new year will receive somehow through pulling cards or random selection of things, come up with a word or several words that will be what you bring forth in the new year. So I've always checked for over, I don't know, 53 years. I've been checking on a daily basis and circumstantial basis for a keyword which my inner spirit, my guides believe will be help me to just move forward and be in an alignment with something as I discover it, as I choose. So I'm not going to share what my keyword for the year is with you right now, but I'm going to just suggest if you haven't done it or if you don't know about this as part of a ritual, then just when you're in your calm, relaxed state, have a deep breath, asking your guidance, your divine self, for a word that would be a focus for your new year or for your new cycle. Have a deep breath in, and as you let go, trust that that is the instant that it comes to you, no matter what. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to understand it completely. And see where it goes from there. To me, a keyword for a day, a week, a month, or over the year, I do get for annually. I get one for as I start my new year, one for each of the months to come. It's both a point of focus moving toward that and throughout. And by the end of a month, end of the year, it's a regrouping tool. Like, how have I learned about this? Where have I discovered this in myself? How has this expressed for me in this cycle? And so just a simple thing, but I think if you haven't been doing it, I invite you to practice and play with it. Um, Key word to me is a grounding. My teacher used to say, it's a pivot point. It's a place where you stand, where you're in your anchor, and you can move in any direction with that as your focus or your intention. So when I say don't judge, one of the first words I got many, many years ago was banana. I go, oh yeah, right. Huh. Clear, clear, whatever. Anyway, I have learned a lot about that word and what it meant to me, what I thought it might mean, but sometimes I start out with asking myself, what does this mean to me mentally now? What does it feel like now? And then see how that evolves and shifts over the um, time frame for a day. And for example, like if I get a keyword for a day, I might discover at some point midday that it starts showing up. The word or the frequency of it shows up. People say things randomly that I overhear, or that they speak it to me, or it just shows up in many ways. So there's lots of ways in which that will be a focus for you if you so choose to play with that. With that, I'm going to check out of this conscious awareness so we can bring forth your message and your wisdom for today. I am that I am, all light indeed, and in this day we dance, and we shall play if you would choose to have a deep romance. Oh, not the kind of physical love, not the kind of mental desire, but all that is our wholeness of being in the dance of life entire. How be you, my friends? Ah, so it is I, Saint Germain, reminding you to have FUN now and in all moments. FUN. Many of us heard me say things like full, unlimited nirvana. I say, let's consider it for a moment. We've made many references to the possibilities and the joy of it. Hmm. Let us see. FUN. Freedom unleashed now. Why not? FUN. So, do you understand that as you begin a new cycle, it's not about being done with, being rid of, somehow erasing whatever might have occurred in previous cycles, but about the integration of those cycles, those events, those experiences into the whole new focus, new experience, new FUN you evolve with. What if today marks something more than a beginning of a new year, a new life cycle? Perhaps it is your now moment to choose freedom. And we remind you, not freedom from, but freedom toward. Free to move forward, free to express, free to draw to you and experience things which are of your highest, most loving conscious mind and heart. Freedom unleashed now. So, yes, there may be circumstances when you have experienced your life has been bound mentally and emotionally and physically in some circumstances in chains and in patterns of limitations imposed upon you or accepted and invented by you. Let that be your mental playground for the moment. All of that, we want freedom from that, and that occurs by freedom toward what? Have you thought of people having suddenly an influx of huge amounts of money? Their financial world has changed in an instant. They now are free in that moment. They think from the poverty and limitations of the past, and they have not aligned with where they really choose to move forward with, except to be in such freedom that it is wild, careless, reckless, and not focused. Nothing wrong with all of that, except that the experience oftentimes comes to some, what some would call a reality check of where and how and why all of that has happened, and now what? So that's only one occurrence in which someone would say, I'm free from the limitations of my past. Grand. What is your focus? What are you free forward? What are you freeing yourself forward in your life with? About? With whom? With whom are you? That which would be your choice to say, I'm hoping, I'm praying, I do not want the messes of the past to come into my life. Grand. Let's say, what are those messes? Are they your physical clutter and messes, and now you feel guilty because you have made the same vow every year, and now it's still upon you? All right, free. Free toward what? Free toward what you envision it all to be. Free toward not expecting that you are living in a habit of one thing that no longer serves. That freedom is what you create. What if it would be that you look to the messes of the so-called past as a political conundrum and outpouring of things which seem to be divisive, polarizing, disruptive in some way to your expectations or your hopes and dreams, or, if not disruptive, celebratory for some. And yet the messes are that which you might have endured in achieving that so-called success. So the mess of your outer world life, pray for it to be resolved, dissolved into what? Light, hope. And you are the vehicle for that. What is your purpose? What is your inner light wanting to say, to express, to pretend with, to evolve with in your creation? What is it you choose moving forward? The messes don't clear themselves up in always the ways in which you're now left with the freedom you so desire. On some level, have you known of someone who's had a house fire when things have been destroyed, and now they are in a position to make new choices, discover where and how they're going to rebuild? If they, this just becomes a mess, dissolving a mess in a messy way, but not imperfect, because it all serves. Same thing for flooding and hurricanes and tornadoes and such of so-called natural disasters for human experience. Creates a big mess in its aftermath, and now what? You still have to choose, what will you do with that mess? Will you rebuild something? Will you remove it? What will you recycle it? What will you do with all of that? And what will you do with the feelings and the healing of all of that in your inner heart, in your being? So whether you want to blame yourself for creating a mess, or blame the universe, or blame others, or blame wherever, that blame has to become healed. The blame is a limitation in and of itself. It is a binding. There's not a lot of freedom when you live in the blame game. So that we invite you to look at this new cycle. Where have I blamed my life for not being perfect? Have I blamed myself, my parents, my siblings, my mate, my friends, the world? Who are you blaming? And now find a place in yourself of seeing yourself in that in a new way, in bringing forgiveness forward, letting it go. Am I saying it's all that easy? Well, it can be. But how committed are you to your freedom and to this new full life that you so desire? While it is true that in any breath and in any moment, you have the power to completely shift and realign to a whole new experience and expression. It can be that quick. It can be that full. Those moments are rare for most individual experiences, because claiming that, feeling that, does not always come into the full alignment with making peace with your past and the creations which have laid before you till this now moment. So don't be so daunted by that as a major task, but be ready and willing to find love, peace, forgiveness, and all of it every step forward. When you stumble, or it seems to have been a blockage put before you on this new path forward, that's usually the reminder that there's some unresolved relationship in your past. Now, by relationship, I don't mean with an individual. It might be. I mean your relationship to a circumstance, to a belief, to a pattern within. Play with it. Do you play when it is time to work hard? Do you find play in it? We've been saying that for you to have little breakthroughs with for a long time to your days counting. Find that it is your greatest moment now to feel the power of your new ascended reality that you create now. And you must be committed to what that is if you wish to continue to live in an experience of it. It isn't to build yourself up to believe something without activating full light forgiveness for all. Because that will be a fantasy world of creation that does not sustain itself based on your mental overcoming and determination and willpower over things. So that's for some to hear, not feeling full of joy and hope and happiness. It feels oftentimes like it's a condemnation, and it is not. It's just that place where we remind you that there is the power of your choice. But if the choice is made with put on the blinders to all the parts of the self, all the parts of your world as it expresses, you may find the repeating, the repeating, and the repeating of the patterns of pain, limitation, and emotional discomfort and dis-ease. So choose, and choose again and again and again, and be willing in that choice to find that you can ask for support and help in removing the chains, but you must look to the chains with gratitude that they have served you. You must look to those limitations and those barriers as the blessings which have given you everything you now bring forward of the most high frequency. For isn't that what transmutation is? Yes. Isn't that what your ascension is? Yes. You don't ascend from the world, you ascend with all that the world is, because you carry it with you. Not the density and the limitation, but the truth, the frequency of light, of love, all that is created in that, the opportunity, it becomes whole. It is in that ascended, holy consciousness, no longer held with separation, good and evil, divine and darkness. Play where you choose in the game of that kind of polarity, and know that it will continue then to give you opportunities to bring about the reminders of what is your focus for this now moment, for this new now moment. Happiness, joy, freedom, prosperity, love, peace, and more. You know, it might have been writ in some days of old, to be or not to be. That is the question. What say you when you think about those words? What say you when you ponder that kind of choice? To be what? To be whom? To be how? It is not that you can undo your being. You cannot not be, but it is what you've defined as being that is resolved in you as you become free to choose that expression, free to choose your focus of it. To be whole and alive, or not to be in the experience of wholeness and aliveness. To be all that is, to be one in all that is, or not to be connected, responsible for all that you are in it. That is the question. So, my dear friends, the divine that I am witnesses you knew the divine always. Your human, emotion, mental, physical illusions are blessed. They are your keys for realizing who you are, how you are, how you be in the world. So in the violet light, there is an empowerment of a divine fire that burns through these things which are the limitations. It burns through them when they are given fully into that flame, not tossed to the flame as if they are discardable, unusable, and not loved, but given fully as that which will now become all that you are and all that that is. All that which no longer serves is now fuel for the mighty I am that you are. The transmutation of all these things is where you live without fear, because you know that it is serving you. And when it no longer serves you, it is surrendered to that flame where all is moved in and through your wholeness of being, creating more and more expression of your wholeness. In the name of all we are, we offer these things with you, with love, patience, and intention that we are one. Namaste. Hi. Well, one moment. Coming back. Um, Thank you for my little journey. It really wasn't very little. It felt very expansive. I was moving about, sort of in the inside, what think of the inside of an interdimensional ship. It's almost an oxymoron. No, that's not the word. It just sort of, it seemed like the inside of an interdimensional ship seems like there would be no inside, outside. It would all be one. But anyway, it was my experience. So thank you for that, to experience the place of how I journey sometimes, I suppose. Moving in and through dimensions, in and through views and viewpoints. So thank you for that. I'm very grateful that this has been not just this cycle of sharing like this, but throughout my life, my connection with all of these things. Classes coming up, play shops coming up, and all kinds of new things being prepared for us in this new year. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Check us out if you haven't on our website for all these things, on our Point of Peace messages daily if you're not receiving them. And blessings for you to have everything your heart and soul desire for this new cycle of life. Thank you.